In this lesson, we're going to begin with some new vocabulary. Then I'll teach you about the prefix mal. Then we're going to learn about direct objects. Let's begin with tableau. This means table. Akvo, water. Kafo, coffee. Pano, bread. Pizzo, pizza. Mola, soft. Seca, dry. Yuna, young. Pura, clean. Varma, warm. Now let's move on to the prefix mal. In the Esperanto language, there are many prefixes and suffixes that you can use to change the meaning of a word. The first prefix we're going to learn is mal. All this prefix does is indicate an opposite. As an example, bona means good, but if we add the prefix mal, this becomes malbona, bad. As another example, longa, this means long. When we add the prefix mal, this becomes malonga, short. Mola is soft, so when we add the prefix mal, this becomes malmola, hard. An example sentence with mal is, the table is dirty. La tablo estas malpura. Another example is, the cat is old. La kato estas maljuna. Now I'm going to teach you about direct objects. This topic can be kind of tricky in Esperanto, but this is only due to the fact that direct objects are treated a little bit differently in Esperanto than they are in English. A direct object is the thing that an action is being performed on. It's basically the thing that's receiving an action from a verb. To show you what I mean, let's take the sentence, she eats pizza. She is the subject of the sentence. Eats is a form of the verb to eat. Pizza is the direct object. She is the subject because she is what is doing the eating, but pizza is the direct object because it's the thing that is being eaten. All of the verbs I've taught you so far in Esperanto are intransitive verbs. What this means is they cannot have a direct object. These are verbs like to be, to sleep, to run. They can't have a direct object because they're not really performing an action to an object. Transitive verbs, on the other hand, can have a direct object. These are verbs like to eat, to drink, and to love. So before I teach you how the direct object is used in Esperanto, I'm going to have to teach you some transitive verbs. The first one is mangi. This means to eat. Another one is trinki, to drink. Havi, to have. Shati, to like. Ami, to love. In English, if you want to know what the direct object is, you kind of have to look at the word order in a sentence. But in Esperanto, we use a special ending. All direct objects in Esperanto end with the letter no, and this is something called the accusative case. There are multiple uses for the accusative case, but the main one is to show a direct object. This accusative ending is also added to any adjectives that are describing a direct object. As an example, we eat pizza. Ni manĝas pizzon. Ni is a personal pronoun that we learned about earlier. Manĝas is the present form of mangi, to eat, and pizzo means pizza. But we added the letter no to indicate that it's a direct object. How about the sentence, they don't like dry bread? For this, we would say, Ili ne ŝatas sekan panon. Notice that we said ne ŝatas because they don't like dry bread. And both seka and pano have the no ending because pano is the direct object of the verb ŝatas, and seka is describing pano, so they both have the no ending. How would we translate he drinks my water? Well, we would say li trinkas mian akvon. Notice that we put the no ending on mia. This is because mia is a personal possessive pronoun and it behaves like an adjective, so we can count it as an adjective describing akvo. So mia and akvo both have to have the no ending. You might be wondering what we do if a direct object is plural. Well, if it's plural, it's going to have the yo ending first, and then the letter no is added after the yo ending. As an example, they have small cats. Ili havas malgrandajn katojn. Notice that to form the word small, we used granda and we added the mal prefix because the opposite of big, which is granda, is small. Malgranda. How would we say, you love clean tables? Vi amas purajn tablojn. In Esperanto, since the direct object is indicated with an ending rather than word order, we have a lot more freedom to move words around in a sentence than we do in English. Let me show you what I mean. If we wanted to say, I love you in Esperanto, there are 6 ways we can arrange the sentence, and it'll still have the exact same meaning. Mi amas vin. Mi vin amas. Vin mi amas. Vin amas mi. Amas vin mi. Amas mi vin. All 6 of these sentences mean the exact same thing. I love you. If we wanted to say you love me instead, we would simply remove the no ending from vi and place it on mi. So instead of mi amas vin, it would be min amas vi. So the only reason that all of these sentences mean the exact same thing is because the placement of the no ending is exactly the same for each of these sentences. To review, we learned a few new vocabulary words. I also taught you that the prefix mal forms opposites, and you learned that the ending for direct objects is no. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up my video if you liked it, and please subscribe to my channel for more lessons. Thank you.